You've heard it all before. Budget better, save more, invest for retirement. But what almost nobody actually tells you is how to do that. And that's why people feel lost. So today, we're going to go through a simple flowchart that shows you exactly how to spend absolutely every dollar you make, from first paycheck all the way to financial freedom. This chart comes from user Atlas Void on Reddit, and it's one of the clearest roadmaps that I've seen. So we're going to go through it step by step and show you exactly how to use your money. Let's talk about it. Everything, absolutely everything starts here with the budget. It's not sexy, it's not cool, it's not flashy, but it absolutely is a requirement if you're wanting to control your financial future. A budget is not about restriction, it's about awareness. You can't build wealth if you don't know where your money is going. And so with that, this is the single most important step in the entire flowchart. Every other decision, saving, investing, paying off debt, depends on you knowing your cash flow. You can think about your budget as the dashboard of your financial car. You can't drive blind. You need to know your fuel level, your speed, your direction. Now, here's the thing. You don't need a fancy tool to make this work. A lot of people will try to sell you a product, but a pen and paper is enough. If you want tech to help you, there are plenty of options. There's free tools like Mint or NerdWallet's budget planner, and they work well. There are paid apps like You Need a Budget or Every Dollar, which make tracking super visual and automatic. So if you find that useful, go for it. But personally, I like Google Sheets or Excel. They give you the most control, they're free, and they're awesome. And really, the key is not which tool you use, it's actually that you just pick one and use it. And once you know what's coming in and what's going out, you'll start to see how every other step of this chart begins to make sense. So from that, your first steps are going to be paying rent or your mortgage, buying food and groceries, paying for essential items, the things you need to stay alive. Once you've done that, then you want to pay for any income earning expenses, necessary transportation, internet or phone if you need it for work, a laptop if you need it for work, whatever that might be, because if you're not able to make money, then you're not going to be able to make it further down this chart. And then I also want to call out that in here is healthcare. It's too often overlooked, but medical debt is one of the fastest ways to derail your finances. And so your health is super important. And on top of that, money doesn't matter if you're not alive to spend it. So make sure you're taking care of yourself too. And then also what's covered in here is that you want to make minimum payments on all of your debts and loans. You can just go crashing down in a terrible cycle if you're not keeping up with the minimum payments at the very least on your debts. And we'll cover more about these in just a moment, but at least be making the minimum payments. Now, this first red box is honestly a huge and awesome milestone. A 2025 Bankrate survey found that 59% of Americans say they cannot afford a $1,000 emergency expense using either cash or savings. That means that if you are able to get to this box, you are already in the top 60% of Americans. Now, this chart recommends either $1,000 or 1 month's expenses. I want you to recognize that this is not yet your full safety net. It is just a buffer zone. When your car breaks down, your water heater quits, whatever it may be, this keeps you from going back to credit cards and racking up more debt. This is not meant to cover everything, but it's meant to cover enough to get your feet underneath you and set you up for success as you keep moving down. Now, the next thing to do is pay on any non-essential bills in full. This would be cable, internet, phone, etc., so you can stay connected to the world and do the other things you need to do too. After that, the next thing I want you to look at is whether or not your employer offers a retirement account and a company match or an employer match. Typically, this would look like a 401k, a 403b, or something similar. If they offer an employer match, take advantage of it. This is one of the few places in life where you will actually get free money. If they offer you, say, 50% on 6%, put in 6% to your retirement account, and you will get 50% of that 6%. So they are giving you 3% of your income for free as an additional just extra money you get to take. You don't have to do anything more than just say, yep, I'm going to put some of this towards my retirement. So make sure you are getting that full match. The next thing I want you to do is look at high interest debt, or the next thing that the chart talks about rather. And with this, high interest debt is anything over 10%. And this is a very important thing to get onto and recognize, because paying off debt gives you a guaranteed return. If you have a credit card that's at 18% interest, paying it off is the same as earning 18% on your money putting it elsewhere. And guess what? You're not going to find those kind of returns with reasonable confidence anywhere in the stock market or with other investments. And so paying off high interest debt is actually one of the wisest things you can do with your money. Now, with that, there are a couple of ways to go about it. One being the avalanche method, one being the snowball method. And I'll talk about these just for a second. The avalanche method means that you pay off your highest interest rate first. Mathematically, this is the fastest option, but it's not always the easiest. And sometimes when people pick this, they're not able to stick with it, and they actually fall off and end up being stuck with debt anyway. So the snowball method might be the one to go with. Snowball means that you will pay off the smallest balance first, meaning that you get quick wins much earlier. Psychologically, this is a huge boon. This is a great thing for you, because even though it's not as fast as the avalanche method, people find much more success with it because you get to see the progress much more early with each loan that you pay off, and it builds on that awesome feeling of success and winning. With both of these methods, what you do is whatever debt you pick on first, you're going to pay that off in full and then move on to the next one. And whatever amount you were having to pay for the minimum payment for that, you just add it to what you are paying for the next loan. And then again for the loan after that, and then again for the loan after that. And it just grows and grows and grows. So that's why it's snowball or avalanche, is that it grows very quickly over time. Now, once you have covered your high interest debts, again, those ones over 10%, I want you to go ahead and increase your emergency fund to 3 to 6 months. Now, with this, this gives you a lot more margin and peace of mind. This covers you in the case of like a job loss, a major medical issue, unexpected repairs. This is meant to be that huge, big cushion that you can fall back on if things go wrong. Now, you shouldn't be pulling from this for other things. This is meant to be an emergency fund so that when an emergency happens, you have it. And this is an important thing to build, and gives you that ability to go into the next things with confidence from here. From that, you then want to consider your moderate interest debts, any remaining debt over 5% excluding your mortgage. These are, once again, guaranteed returns if you pay those off. And so a very important thing to do, and to give you even more capital to then go into and consider things like an IRA, an individual retirement account. Now from there are two types of ways to invest in an IRA. And depending on income limit and a few other things, there might be restrictions on an IRA for you. But the things to talk about here are Roth versus traditional. Basically, the idea of Roth is that you will pay tax on the money you put into the account now, so that your money will grow tax-free and be able to be taken out later. And then traditional means that you get a tax benefit today, meaning you get a tax break on the money you put in there, but it will grow and then you'll have to pay taxes on it later. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a financial advisor. Please talk to somebody professional before you make that decision for yourself. But this is the point of the chart where you would start thinking about an IRA and what you're going to do about it there. Now, the next thing to consider is, do you have any large required purchases or personal investments in the near future? This would be stuff like college, professional certifications, a car that you need so you can get to work. This is not talking about a Tesla or a Porsche or anything like that, but instead like a car that you would need in order to continue living life and doing the things you need to do. If so, save the amount you need for those expenses in a savings account, a checking account. I would maybe recommend a high yield savings account here. I have a video that covers that on my channel, so go check that out. But then once you've done that, the next thing in the chart is to save at least 15% of your pre-tax income for retirement. Now, that 15% is kind of a magical number for most people. If you start early enough, that 15% will mean that you have enough money in retirement to cover similar to the amount of money that you are spending pre-retirement now. So 15% is really what you want to target. And if you're not able to hit that right now, get as close as you can, whether that's 5%, 10%, whatever you're able to manage. Start saving and investing that. And this just says saving, but you really should be investing it as well. And with that, the things that you can invest in or should look at first would be stuff like a 401k or 403b. We mentioned that further up above, but that was just getting your employer match. Now what we want to do is try to fill that out more significantly. And if you're self-employed, this is a time to start looking into an individual 401k, an SEP IRA, a simple IRA, or if you're not in self-employed, or if you've already maxed out any of these accounts, this would be a time to consider a taxable account as well. Saving that money and getting yourself to that 15% saving and investing rate. Now, from there, when you get to these purple boxes, you truly are making it. You're doing extraordinarily well. You should be proud of yourself. This is a time to look back and say, "Wow, look at all the progress I've made. Look at how well I'm doing." Now, from here, there are a few awesome things you can do. First, there is something available to you if you are on a high deductible health plan, HDHP. And that means that you would have access to an HSA, or most likely would have access to an HSA. An HSA health savings account is a triple tax advantaged account. Now, typically people pull from HSAs to pay for medical expenses, but you can actually use it as an investment account as well. And once you reach retirement age, you're able to use it for non-medical expenses at that point. So this is an incredibly powerful account. A lot of people sleep on it and don't make good use of it. But if you have an HSA available to you, you really should consider maxing that out and taking full advantage of it. For IRAs, for 401ks, 403bs, these are tax advantaged accounts as well, but not nearly tax advantaged as an HSA. If you're not familiar with it, you really should look into it. I'm going to be doing a video on them in the not too distant future here, but incredibly cool accounts. And then from there, if you have children and wish to help them pay for some or all of their college, you can look into a 529 plan. That's another tax advantaged investment account, which allows you to put money towards educational expenses. So it gives you a tax advantage and allows you to save for your kids' future. So that's a pretty cool thing to take advantage of. And then from that point forward, it's really the world's your oyster. You get to choose your own path from that point forward. If you want to retire early, you can think about movements like FIRE, FIRE, or FINE, FINE. That's Financial Independence Retire Early, or Financial Independence Next Endeavor. Both pretty cool concepts. You can do stuff like maxing out your 401k, 403b, other employer-sponsored accounts. You can consider things like a backdoor Roth IRA, a mega backdoor Roth account, via 401k and IRA, and there's other things to consider there. Again, talk to a tax professional or financial advisor. Or if you have more immediate goals, you can start saving up for those goals using safer investments, like conservative mix of stocks and bonds, high yield savings accounts, stuff like that, to sort of save for shorter term stuffs like travel, buying a boat, doing whatever. Because at this point, you truly are rocking it. You're setting yourself up for success in the future, and it might be time to start living a little bit more in the now. So with that, thank you for watching. If you ever felt lost with money, hopefully this video has helped give you a little bit more direction. Start where you are in the chart and follow it step by step, and you will build real security and freedom. It probably is not going to happen overnight, but it will happen over time. And if this video helped you out, hit like, subscribe, share it with somebody who's trying to get their finances in order. And as always, remember, choose virtue, build value, live free. I'll see you in the next one.